You ever look out your window at night and see your own porch lights flickering, then catch your neighbor's house go pitch black? That's how I found out Sheila Brooks, Queen Bee of Somerset Estates, was stealing my electricity. And what I did next turned our little suburban street into ground zero for a neighborhood showdown no one's gonna forget. I moved to Somerset Estates for peace and quiet, not World War III. Name's Frank Dalton, retired electrical engineer, spent 35 years making sure half the city kept the lights on. When my wife passed, I wanted a project to keep my mind busy, so I bought this old house with more cobwebs than insulation and rebuilt it from the wires up. Solar on the roof, backup batteries in the shed, smart grid monitoring, my own private power plant. Most folks waved or minded their business. Not Sheila. She started huffing the minute the moving van pulled up. Too many packages, too much tech clutter, as she called it. Her husband, Tom, seemed decent enough. Quiet guy, always looked like he wanted to apologize for something, probably because Sheila treated him like a stray mutt. Sheila? She ran the HOA, or at least acted like it, even though Somerset's HOA was more rumor than rule book. I got the sense early she had a chip on her shoulder. Maybe because I didn't buy into her rules about paint colors or where to park my truck. Anyway, about 6 months in, my home energy dashboard started acting up. Nothing dramatic, just a little extra power drain on the workshop sub-panel at night. I figured I'd left the freezer open, or maybe the batteries were equalizing. But I'm not the kind of guy who lets things go. Spent 2 days double-checking every circuit, every outlet, every inch of wire. That's when I found it. A cable, buried just under the bushes, running from my line toward Sheila's property. Not a backyard extension cord either, but a professional splice, sealed up tight. Rage isn't even the word. You spend your life learning to build things right, follow code, and someone just taps in like you're their free utility? I nearly marched over, ready to let her have it, but then I cooled off. People like Sheila? You can't outshout them. You have to outthink them. So I documented everything. Photos, videos, daily logs, even installed a little wildlife camera aimed at the splice. Watched as the usage spiked during that heat wave. Turns out she'd wired up her fancy pool house, the one she swore was just storage. The part that killed me? Every time I'd see her, she'd make a dig about guys like me wasting money on gadgets, or she'd complain about my solar panels ruining the neighborhood view. Meanwhile, she was robbing me blind with a smirk. For a week, I pretended like nothing was wrong. Sheila and Tom kept going on with their lives, her tossing dirty looks, him sheepish as ever. But every night, my lights would flicker, and hers would glow like Vegas. I decided to fight fire with fire, programmed my smart panel for unreliable grid mode. Nothing dangerous, just enough to make the stolen power flicker, brown out, come and go at random. Sheila's palace went dark and bright and dark again. By the third night, I saw Tom in the yard with a flashlight, Sheila on the phone cussing out the power company. Pure satisfaction. One evening, Tom showed up at my door, asking if they could run an extension cord for their fridge. Food about to spoil, you know the drill. I told him, real friendly, no issues over here. Maybe you guys should call an electrician. He looked downright defeated. Sheila caught wind, slammed the door, probably accusing me of sabotage. I didn't bite. The next day, I called the power company's fraud line, handed over my logs, my photos, even that camera footage. By noon, a city tech and a cop showed up. I showed them the whole setup, step by step. Here's the data, here's the wire, here's the camera. They took one look, and the technician actually laughed. Said it was the cleanest evidence he'd ever seen. That's when Sheila came home. She took one look at us, cop, city guy, me holding my phone, and went straight from shock to screaming. Claimed I planted the wire myself. The cop just shook his head. Ma'am, this cable runs from his panel straight to your pool house. We verified it with thermal imaging. Sheila went pale, then red, then started hurling blame at everyone in sight. Me, Tom, the HOA, the utility company. Right there on her front lawn, with half the street peeking through the blinds, she got served with a theft and tampering charge, plus a fat bill from the power company. Triple the amount I'd calculated. Penalties and all. Tom just stood there, looking like a man who finally saw the train coming. And me? I just watched as the lights in Sheila's house finally went out for good. So tell me, was that justice or just revenge?